Hello everybody, welcome to Tonbridge School. I come here today on Bank Holiday Monday to do a 5,000, my first track 5,000 of the year as an M55. So got about 20 minutes to go, so I'm getting a little warm up in, and it's a bit breezy, but it's a race that's kind of with the 3,000. So I'll be doing some good training of late. I'm not feeling particularly sharp though, but we'll see how we go again. At least with the 5,000 you can get into it, can't you? Right, let's get this warm up done and then we'll see how we go. Okay, shoe choice today is the red Dragonflies with my socks on. I thought over 5,000 saved me any black toes. It'll be the third time I've done a 5,000 in these. Little post-race preview, they were absolutely fine. I think doing all those runs recently in the low stack turbos and street flies certainly helped. On your mark. Claire Elms.
Claire Elms, yeah. I think it is in the pink.
Okay, I thought we'll do a little voiceover of Mark Hookway's video. Thanks so much to Mark. I had my GoPro on the back straight, so when it cuts into that, that's where it's coming from. So here I'm starting off. This was a combined race, 5,000 metres I was doing, and we had the number 2 on the front of our number, so I'm there 213. The people with there, like Claire Elms, 173, they were just doing the 3,000 metres, so there was a total of 5 of us doing the 5,000, so a few more doing the 3,000. That's Harriet Woolley there in the lead at the moment.
Have the 5,000s all got a 2, given with 200?
There's 5 of them with a number 2, they're doing the 5k.
Right, because I noticed there's one.
Tonbridge has got a rather good, nice sports centre next to it. The track is actually owned by Tonbridge School, so the local athletics club are allowed to use it with their kind permission. That's arranged. It's been going on for years as far as I can recall. So we're coming up to the end of the first lap, and my split was 91 seconds, which is right on sort of 6-minute mile pace. 6-minute mile pace would be notionally 90 seconds, wouldn't it, or maybe 89 with the rounding. I was thinking around about 6-minute miling, which would bring me home in 18:37, would be about right. But I was thinking, well, anything under 19 minutes would actually be a good result. I think 18:37 would have been sort of rather a fantastic result, should we say, and on a par with what I've been doing in the last couple of years. So I haven't really broken 19 minutes this season. I did 19:16 in a 5k road race back in May, and then I was sort of got injured, or I was coming back from injury, so we say. Then I got COVID in sort of beginning of June, so it's taken me all that time to get back into form again.
We've seen Harriet and Claire battling out over 3k. Those are the number 1 to start their number will be on the 3k.
So here I am after 600 metres. Look at me get laboured, don't they? But I always feel like when you see yourself running, it looks a bit odd, and you actually feel like you're running quite fast. When you actually see yourself, you look like you're sort of shuffling along. It's quite a demoralising experience sometimes, I think.
Energy and enthusiasm you've got, so any extra motivation for these.
So the leading 3 there have got away. Reuben Burford there from Dartford is an N50. He was the guy that went on to win the 5,000. We've got Tony Toohey there, an M60 from Dulwich, very good runner, one of the best vets in the country. And here I am coming through there, 2 laps in 3:01, so that was a 90-second lap. So I was feeling quite pleased with that pace so far.
Yeah. Hey Richard, how you doing? Good, thank you. Yeah, how's it going?
I must say these leading 3 runners do look to be running considerably faster than the rest of us. Well, they obviously are, but just their sort of style is that much quicker. Although Tony behind looks like he's flowing quite nicely. And he pan back to me. I thought I was feeling like I'm shuffling along, but I guess I'm a lot taller than those people.
Claire and Harriet.
Going through the first kilometre in this 3,000, 5,000 metres in 3 minutes 30.
I wanted in this race to have a good sort of solid race, not go off too quickly, to see if I could sort of settle into a pace and just tick off the laps. So what I was trying to do was really sort of sit behind a couple of the 3,000 metre runners. And there was a chap there from Paddock Wood, Robert Everett, who was a handy person to pace off most of the 3,000, should we say. Good to see a few younger people in this race. It was a meeting to celebrate the 75th anniversary of Tonbridge AC, which is why they had that 75-metre race for over 75s that I put in at the start of the video. So here I'm coming through to 3 laps. I've got my camera just before the 400-metre start point, i.e. the 200-metre start. So 4:31, that was on the 90, so that's looking good. And here comes Claire. Now Claire's actually now got into the lead of all 3 of them actually. Pushing on, a rather nice fetching pink top. Maybe I need to get a pink top, go with my bright yellow one for running when I go running at dusk so I can be seen. Certainly won't miss that, would you?
Halfway when they're over the
2 pairs of pink shoes actually, a pink Next Percent and a pink Endorphin Pro 3 now. So maybe you get something to match.
Come on, Harriet, stick with it.
Quite a big gap there, the top 3 have got away. Tony there in 4th place, 3rd in the 3000.
Hi Emily.
And there I am tracking that guy from Paddock Wood, Robert Everett.
Hi Maria.
So stretching down the back straight, going through halfway.
Hi Emily.
Around 5,
Derek.
5:17.
Over there, so.
Being tracked by an athlete from Dartford, that's Ruben Burford. He'll be running our 5K, so he's got a pacemaker.
So here's Tony on the black straight. 2:16 is actually in my race. That's Tom James. There's 2 Toms from Tonbridge. Here's the other Tom, 2:08. Now he's a guy that I ended up having a good battle with at the end, but you see that I'm still a bit behind him, so I'll slowly catch up to him over the next few laps. Claire's still pushing from the front. See if we can identify some of these runners. We've got Ruben Burford behind 2:15 in the Dartford colours, sort of the same colours as Jeff Whiteman, who you probably know from announcing the Olympics and all the World Championships and stuff like that.
Harriet.
He was my former boss actually at Run Britain Rankings when we started that.
Hi John.
Our 3,000 metre runners have got a 1 to start their best.
Morning girls.
And the 5,000 metres runners have a 2 to start their best numbers. So they are just coming up.
It's good Emily, keep it going.
They reach that 2K mark and they pass the 200 metre point.
You saw a flash of me there. There's Claire again. Not a bad camera actually, the GoPro on the back straight in the daylight. I always tend to use it like late at night, which is not so good. But yeah, you can see got a big gap now. So I think somewhere along I will be looming up here coming into this straight. There's Tony. I think this guy, has he been lapped already? 167. Yeah, that's John McGlashan. He's M70. Doesn't look that old, does he? There's me going through, still with that guy Robert. And that was, what did we do? I missed a lap there. 7:33, and I did 6:02 at 1600. So 6:02 for just over, 6:02 for just under a mile. So I'm still doing now 90 or 91 second lap. So yeah, pleased with that. Because at this point in the race, sort of halfway, you're thinking, oh, he's starting to work a bit harder now, but you still think it's a long way to go. So it's just a case of hanging in there and see how much pain you can suffer.
Come on, Harriet.
There's Tony again.
Great running, Tom.
2:16. That's Tom James in my race.
Keep pushing on.
So this lady here, she must be Emily Geek. 1:60. Yeah, she's actually under 17. So here I am in a little group here. No, I've actually now caught up with Tom Rule there, 2:08. So he's the guy that I'll end up running the rest of the race with, basically.
Great running, Maria. Well done.
Hi Maria.
Keep going strong. Go on, Maria. We're on there, Derek. Let's go.
So there's obviously sometimes in these races you get little gaps where there's not much happening.
Come on, Emily. Well done.
Here we go.
Good luck to go,
Good girl.
Emily. Well done. Good running.
So now Ruben's comes front. We'll just cut away back to me there, running with Tom. Back to Claire and Ruben. So Ruben's pushing on the pace. Must be coming now to the bell, I think, for Claire actually. What's her bell time going to be? 9. 10, 9, 11. She ended up with 10:38.
Start 10:30, so he's going to need your support on the back straight.
Hi, Tom.
177 is Tom George. Here's Tom James. Now he's quite a way ahead of us actually. We did actually manage to close about half of that gap.
Tom's in this race.
And this chap Robert Everett, he must have put a bit of spurt on him coming towards the end of his race, so I decided to sort of let him go. And then as I hung up with another 5k runner there, 208, I thought that was a good person to hang with. And Emily Geek, she ended up with 11:14. So considering I did 11:21 for a 3,000 metre race, I was quite pleased actually because I was running basically the same pace as my 3,000 for 5,000. So it shows I've improved my fitness since May, which is quite encouraging. 167 is John McGlashan again, the M70. 184 is Derek G, NN50 from Tonbridge. 180 is Tabitha Wimple, number 17 from Tonbridge. 162 is Emily Boyd, number 15 from Tonbridge. Well, Claire's finished there. Her time was 10:38.29. There's Harriet Willie finishing in 10:42.82. And here comes Tony third in 10:49.94. A bit of a gap now to fourth place, which I think will be Robert Everett, who's the guy that I was running with for a bit. So he put in a nice good sprint there. His time is 11:07.50. Emily Geek is next to finish. Here she comes. She did 11:14.92. And then comes myself and Tom Brawl in the 5,000. So we've got basically 5 laps to go.
You haven't even mentioned Tim Gross.
There's a bit of a gap now to the next finisher. Now here's Maria Heslop. She's in the 5,000 metre race. She's the only woman doing the 5,000. She's in a Vet 50 from Tonbridge. Obviously most people from Tonbridge, that's the host club. Here is 184, 6th place for Derek G, and M50 from Tonbridge, 11:47.81.
Hi, John.
John McGlashan here's still got a lap to go. He's cut away to me and Tom on the back straight. We did
yeah.
Oh, it's 162 is Emily Boyd, 12:06.82. My 3,200 lap split was 12:10, so that was a 6:08 sort of 1,600. So I'm going to drop down to about 93. So just slowed slightly, but 93 will be the slowest lap that I do. 179 is Tegan Winkle. 216 is the other top in my race, Tom James.
Tom pushing.
And this lad here is 177, Tom George, 12:52.56 for 8th place. And there's me and the other Tom going through. I think we've got Maria Heslop coming through in the 5,000. So quite a lot of the 3,000 metres runners are finishing now, so the track's spreading out a bit. Next finisher in the 3,000 I think is Luminous Flute, which is John McGlashan, Vets AC, and M70, 13:47.98. But having said that, before we come to him, there's Ruben Burford going through in the 5,000.
Oh, James. You seen Dupes? He was looking for you.
And here's John McGlashan finishing.
They will fit in.
I don't know.
Oh, okay.
These are at 9, so went to 9.5.
Yeah. Yeah.
Stay there. I usually wear a 9.5.
Fine, John.
I usually wear 9.5 trainers and 9 spikes.
So here's 216, Tom James, and he's got quite a gap on us still. 180 is coming there. Tabitha Wimpole, she's in 10th place, 14 minutes 17.83. So well done to her. She's under 17. And then it's like myself and Tom are coming through with a few laps to go. We've got 3 to go from this point. So we've got one more finisher in the 3,000 metres to come, which is Tegan Wimpole. She did 14:49.05. We've got Maria Heslop coming through in the 5,000. And this is Tegan now finishing. Well done to her. She's an under 20 from Tonbridge. So all the 3,000 metre runners have now finished. And this is Ruben Burford coming through. 2 laps to go. 15:02 there. Cut away straight to me on the back straight. So what are we now? 15:14 at 4,000 metres for us two there. 92-second lap. So yeah, I'm quite pleased with my pacing. Just sort of feel like I'm working quite hard now, but you can always feel that you can find a bit of effort at the end. So 216 Tom James, he must have now got a couple of laps to go. And then there's us two there. So we've now got 800 metres to go. Now I've already got past my PB of track PB of 15:26. So yeah, those are different times. That was in 1998, I think, something like that, down at Millfield in a BMC race. Just beat James Thie. I keep reminding him of that. He was ended up to be a 4-minute miler, so got some pedigree, I suppose. So here's Maria coming through with her 2 laps to go. And this must be Ruben, who's now coming through to the bell for him.
Yes.
So last lap for Ruben, cut through to us in the back straight, and we're now 16:45. 600 to go, and that was actually a 91-second lap, so picking up the pace a bit actually. I think I sort of sensed the finish and sensed I had a bit left, which is always a bit nice, which shows you've paced it well if you've got a little bit left in a race like a 5,000. There's Maria coming through, cutting it back to Ruben. He must now got his last 200 metres more or less. Yeah, here he comes down the back straight, so he's coming up to his 200 metres to go. Good run from him. Not a PB for him, but a solid effort for sure. Quite a good range of events when I looked on Power 10. So I think we're slowly catching up to Tom James here, the other Tom from Tonbridge. He's an M40, so is the other one. So 2 Toms, both M40s that I was up against today. And this is our bell. So I saw that 17:30, 7:31. So I was thinking, I need to do a 90-second lap. So I thought I need to pick up the pace here, but I thought, well, times evolved. I should be able to pick up the pace just by 1 or 2 seconds. But as it turned out, I actually picked up the pace a lot. And I think if that was the 17:31 that we saw there, and I basically did about an 80-81 second last lap. And those you'll see, it still wasn't good enough to hold off to the Tom there. So there's Ruben finishing. His time was 17:58.29. So he was a long way ahead. So there's a bit of a gap now to the rest of us. Here's on the back straight. So I'm still accelerating the pace, really, trying to get rid of this Tom. But he was sort of keeping to me like a whippet, basically. And I think as Mark Cookway said afterwards, he just sat on you for 5 laps, which is true. But I think at the end of the day, I was sort of, once I looked at the time, I realised a sub-19 would be a solid effort. So it would have been annoying to come beat the guy and do a 19:01. So I think I was far pleased to do what I did. So here's Tom James finishing 2:16. His time was 18:45.81. I think we really did close in it because we really did have a good last lap. And Tom just got past me, and his time was 18:59.33. And there's me 18:51.06. So solid effort. Too tired, almost missed the handshake actually there. And then we just need to wait a little bit before Maria comes in at 19:14.21.
Is that a record?
And then that will nicely close out the race.
Oh, Maria!
So here she comes, and this is it. And then I'll cut away to my post-race analysis. Okay, 5,000 done. It was about 18:50. I was quite pleased with that in the end because I was on a sort of 6-minute schedule just outside. I think about 6:02 the first 1600, and then I think I needed a 90 for the last lap. And there was a guy sat on me who I caught up. It's a bit confusing because there was 2 races in it, although the 5,000 metre runners had the 2 on the front and the 3,000 on the front had a 1. So I think Claire Elms was well to the 4, as was Tony Tui. So they were ahead, but since they were doing the 3,000, obviously I had to let them go. So yeah, I was a bit rushed getting here in the end. I took a few wrong turns, but in the end, for a 5,000, it was all right. Definitely a lot faster than I've done before on road. I think in my 3,000 split, it was pretty much the same split as I did in the 3,000 race back in May, so that's good. Felt like it was something there to give. It was a good last lap, about 80, so although annoyingly the guy behind me just pit me, but my real aim was to get under 19 once I'd been around a few laps. And I thought I was going off it, so nice to actually get back on track. Okay, so next race is definitely planned a 10,000 on Wednesday the 14th, although there is a Vets 3,000 next Monday. I have to see whether I fancy doing that one or not. Anyway, hope you find this interesting. Like and subscribe on that, and see you next one then. Bye. Good to see you. This is Mark, fellow YouTuber, who records all the races.
What you got there? Is that a GoPro?
That's a GoPro, yeah. Sort of little or large, isn't it really? I can't really run with one of them.
No,
yeah.
Well,
yeah, it was alright, yeah. Best 5k this year. I haven't done many, but yeah. What with COVID and
still working on
injury.
Para 10?
Oh yeah. Well, in the background, yeah.
Right, okay.
Yeah. There's other people that work on it day to day, but. Are you the guy that want to talk to me?
I am.
Yeah.
Can I put a request in?
Yeah.
On Para 10, what I'd like is
to
to be able to put a date range and a club and get all the results that have gone in over the weekend or whatever for that club. Because when you're doing like the weekly reports and things.
I'll send you a link. You can sort of do that.
Can you?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, brilliant. That'd be excellent. Yeah, thank you
just for
very much.
Tonbridge athletes.
Just to get that Tonbridge, because I have to have my wits about me to see. Keep a finger on the pulse where people are racing. They don't always tell you.
Yeah, some people have asked that, but it's sort of like it's quite intensive in the the database query. So if everyone does it, then it could be a bit expensive. But
right, okay.
I'll let the odd favourite people.
Yeah, that'd be good. Yeah, cheers.
Hello, you're Sam.
I'm Sam Crick, founder of Crickcast, doing interviews across the country, around the world.
Okay.
And Tim, I wanted to talk to you as well, so maybe we could do a little.
Yeah, sure.
80, 81, 82.
I was looking at the times beforehand, thinking, am I actually faster than anybody? Because I think there was one lady from. Because she'd done a very similar time to me, and she went off a bit quick, and she was quite handy to know that I was sort of running all right, I was thinking the other day, I don't feel fresh anymore, whether I just sort of train too much or I don't take enough days off.
17.
Just sort of like feel like I'm tired all the time. But
yeah, I think you're right. But I mean, I don't overtrain, but I think there's definitely something. There's something. It might even be the COVID still in you, because I mean that.
It did knock me back a lot. I think knocked everyone back, didn't it? But
I mean, some people more than others.
When did you have it?
July, the 19th of July last year I tested positive.
Oh right, okay.
I think it's affected short stuff more.
Yeah.
I mean,
And then we have our first 5k runners.
But I think maybe
So
a bit
Dan Bradley,
everything I do
Harry
is just
Patton.
harder work.
Yeah.
Everything's just harder.
Well, I think the trouble is every year it gets harder anyway, doesn't it? Because I mean now, a few years ago I was doing 18:30 and now it's 18:50, and it just each year like you lose a few seconds and you don't feel like you feel like you're trying just as hard.
Do you know what I did for a bit with my daughter? Just kind of settled in. I ran a 2:31.800 and I was so appalled. I did a month of, did about even less than a month of a few 200s for my daughter.
Yeah.
I took 4 seconds off.
Yeah.
So it is what you train for.
It is, isn't it? Yeah.
But it's also, if you don't do the right training, you're not going to do a good 800. Do you know what I mean?
No, well I kind of purposely didn't bother doing 8s and 15s this year. I might try and get 15 in if I can. I'm doing the Vets 10k on the track.
Yeah.
You doing that one?
4 minutes.
No.
10k seems a bit of a nightmare.
Well, I got up in age group to 55, and all the club records, I've almost lost them all. 50. So, but there's none of them have got to 55 yet. So I'll set them a few targets for 5 years' time.
Matthew Dewberry coming up to the halfway point.
We say you look like a cyclist these days, Steve.
Yeah, well, not a runner.
Considering you probably run more than anybody, I would have thought that. How many London marathons did you do in the end?
You're still going.
You did it this year?
I did last year's, just about, but
Yeah.
did you? 41 or something.
41. How many has there been?
42, I think. No, this is the 42nd coming up. No,
So you only
I missed 83. That's the only one I missed.
You missed one. Oh, that's
I still
nice.
did a marathon that year, and I've
Yeah.
done a marathon every year since '76.
Right. Yeah. I think you've got the most performances on Para 10 because you've been running a lot.
So this is a quick shout for
Yeah,
anyone who's
Yeah.
to volunteer to help.
I think I've got.
with the shot
I'm
put
just
event.
over
We're
1,000,
about to
and you
start the
must
event.
be.
We'd
You
love
must be like
for a
near
volunteer
2,000.
to help. So if you could come down
have to count
to
them.
the
I have
pavilion,
done
I put them up there. How many
track
he's
side,
been?
I've done well over
finish line.
2,000 races, but
We would
I've
love
just
your help
I haven't
to
been able to
help with the
locate.
shot put.
Yeah. I'll have to go and see when there are.
On your marks.
Behind the white line, thank you.
Set.
Alan Marriott with the sprint start there. And they're away. Andrew Leesburg, captain, Carpet Strike, number 189, following William Collins, still from the start. 16 seconds, ladies and gentlemen. Alan Marriott, Richard Kickman, Jeremy Roy crossing the line, international athlete from Mauritius. Mr. Reed as well, popping for the line there. And a strong finish as well, well done, Dave. How old are you, Albert? 90. Amazing. So Albert's 90 years old and your grandson. Alex, tell us about how excited you are. And he's been involved in the triathlon, so perhaps that's come from you with the running and cycling. Congratulations, well done. Thank you so much for today. You're wonderful race. Bye bye. Thank you very much, Mr. Albert Yee, everyone.